So if you guys weren't aware, Donald Trump is back. Donald Trump has returned to us. Unfortunately, that absolute demon spawn has crawled up from his golf course in Mar-a-Lago to have a little speech, a little meme, all right? He was in Coleman, Alabama to have a rally for God knows what, but he decided to have a rally anyways. I honestly, at this point, I just think he got bored. I think that he was really bored and he was like, man, you know what I want to do? I want to talk to a bunch of people who just want to all drink my cum and clap to whatever I say. Literally whatever falls out of my mouth, they're going to clap for. So he thought it was going to be a great opportunity to be able to blow off some steam and hit the old same talking points, except for a new one. This was hosted on Newsmax RSBN, which is a right-wing news site that, if you didn't know, actually had Nick Fuentes on as a commentator for a little bit until he got kicked. Really interesting why that happened. But this was hosted by the most vile right-wing news sites that you could possibly find. Because of that, they have the same sort of views on vaccines. Now, if you remember, Donald Trump was the president when almost all of these vaccines were being made, and they came out just about the same time Donald Trump was like around in office. Now, I remember when Donald Trump got sick with COVID, and you remember when he was up on the steps of the White House gasping like a fish because he's like 90 years old and he was strapped up with every experimental drug that they had in John Reed Medical Hospital to keep him alive, and he decided to go out without a mask anyways. Remember that? If he wasn't like rich or the president, my man would have died. I saw the way that guy was breathing. He looked like in immense pain just walking, but he's alive still. That can't be said for a lot of Trump supporters' families and a lot of families of people who aren't Trump supporters who are given COVID by Trump supporters. Even though under his watch, a lot of these vaccines came about, his contradictoriness and the right-wing conspiracy ran with it, and now he's being bit by it because he was promoting the vaccine. He was going to be like, we're going to get the vaccine, we're going to destroy this virus, and all of a sudden, none of his fans want the vaccine. So bad, in fact, that they even booed his ass on stage. Take a look at this.
3 days, less than 9 months. And it's great. And you know what? I believe totally in your freedoms. I do. You got to do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines. But no, that's okay. That's all right. You got your freedoms.
Boo. They're booing him on stage. He said, take the vaccine, and they're booing him. Demon. They're booing him. They're booing their king. It's incredible. They get betrayed. Holy shit. But look at them. They're looking at each other. This lady's looking down. Take the vaccine. There's nothing going on in these heads. All right. Look at that. Look at that. Look at them all. They're like, ooh, yikes. Man, it's going to be incredible. Okay. If moving into the future, the right of this party is going to be further right than Donald Trump. And then people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are going to be the new like figureheads. Okay, she's positioning herself as one to take over after Trump's gone, because they're not going to be like, Trump still has like a little bit going on in his head. Okay, he's like, damn, I almost fucking died. I'm so glad I got that vaccine. He's like, yeah, take it. That's good. I made it. You know, he's still riding on the I made the vaccine thing. So obviously he wants to take it. He wants them to take it. But now they've moved even further right than him with the whole vaccine thing. He's not even in step with the party anymore. It used to be he's pulling the party to the right, but he's pulled it so hard that they've started to like lurch past him. I mean, it may be the case that Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be the new figurehead. She may be the new Trump, because she went to Alabama the other day and they were literally cheering because she said that you may have to shoot government agents who come to your house and ask you if you have the vaccine because reasons. Like, she was like, they're gonna come to your house and ask for your social security number, and they were like, boo, I don't want the government to know my social security number. And she's like, they're gonna come to your house and they're gonna ask you if they took the vaccine. Like, boo, I don't want the government to know if I took the vaccine. They're gonna come to your house and ask you where your house is. Boo. Like, they don't know all this stuff already. They know you haven't taken the vaccine. What are you talking about? The government gave you that social security number. And they're like out of their minds. literally out of their minds. And she was like, woo, Alabama is actually one of the least vaccinated states in the country. And they're like, woo, woo, I killed my grandma, woo. And they were going crazy for it. They loved it. This is what they're on now. This is what they're on now. They moved past Trump, and it's scary. It's scaring even him.
That's all right. You got your freedoms, but I happen to take the vaccine. If it doesn't work, you'll be the first to know, okay? I'll call up Alabama and say, hey, you know what? But it is working. But you...
And he has to just move off that point. But he got booed. This speech was 2 hours long of him just rambling and being like, remember when I won 2016? Woo! Take the vaccine. Boo. It's sad. It's scary. It is actually really worrying that now they've moved past. Now, I mean, I would still be upset. I would have less problems if it was just right wingers who were getting sick, but we're experiencing a new resurgence in COVID, and it's getting really bad, especially in places like Alabama, where there's lots of poor people who don't have the ability to get away from people who want to give them the vaccine. And it's my bad for people who are going to give them the virus. And if they don't have time to get the vaccine, remember that a lot of the people who are unvaccinated right now, they're not unvaccinated because they think the vaccine is going to turn them into an iguana. Lots of people are unvaccinated because they're scared. Not just scared about what the vaccine could possibly do, but what the vaccine is seen to be able to do, which is sometimes get you sick. I remember I took a day off of work after I got my second shot because I got a little under the weather. It was just a day, but when there's people, remember, still living on the edges, 26 million Americans slipped into poverty, millions, up to 60% of renters in some parts of the country are risking eviction. There are lots of people who are suffering right now, and lots of people who are scared and may not even be able to stay in the home that they're in once the eviction moratorium is over. Mind you, the eviction moratorium is holding on by a thread because the House and the Senate haven't passed a new eviction moratorium. Biden did it unilaterally, and once that shit reaches the Supreme Court, they told him the next time there's going to be in a moratorium, it has to go through Congress. When it reaches the Supreme Court, if it reaches the Supreme Court, it's going to be over. So lots of workers are worried because I believe about a third of workers or more don't have paid sick leave. So if you don't, I would imagine that you'd be really scared to have a day off, risk getting fired, risk getting laid off, risk getting put in a difficult situation with your boss, or even just miss the money when you need it to pay for your for anything that you need for your family's expenses. There are so many people living on the edge right now, so obviously they'd be worried. It's a multifaceted problem for what's going on right now, and it's not just one thing that can fix it. So, but that's not even talking about. Those are the people who fall on the edges. That's not even talking about these crazy people here. Not a single person wearing a mask sitting behind Trump, booing him for saying that he took the vaccine after he was gasping like a fucking wide-mouthed bass on the floor of someone's middle-aged dad's boat while he was chugging back a freaking brewski and vibing with the boys. You know what I mean? He was about to die. That guy was about to die, and he's right there for these vaccines working. He is a living example of these vaccines working, and they still don't like it. They're further right than him. He's going to be bitten. All right. They're going to bite the hand that feeds, and it's not just going to be a nip. They're going to bite the whole hand off. They may throw Trump away in some regard, at least on some issues. The vaccine is one. They've moved past him.